So next to me is the 2025 Land Rover Range Rover Sport. This is the Dynamic SE plug-in hybrid. This is about $106,000. So we've had this for an entire week now, and to be quite honest, my wife and I have enjoyed this so much. This is now on the list for us when it comes time to buy an SUV. I think a Range Rover Sport is absolutely something to purchase. We have loved this. Now, being the Dynamic SE, the lower front bumper, side skirts and everything, it's a little bit more aggressive than the standard SE. So this one to me is the spec to get. You can get a standard 6-cylinder mild hybrid or a V8 mild hybrid. This one's right in the middle, being the plug-in hybrid with that 6-cylinder motor. So with all that said, for the specifications, this is going to utilize a 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder inline motor. Overall, it's going to make 450 horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque. You're going to get an 8-speed automatic. It does have all-wheel drive. 0 to 60 is around 5.3 seconds, and towing is 6,600 pounds. Now for the drive modes with the plug-in hybrid, I've actually really enjoyed driving this around on the day-to-day. So on this main screen for this tablet-style multimedia system, you can see EV, hybrid, as well as save. When you're in EV mode, it will literally drive in 100% EV. So you can floor it, you can do whatever you want. It will drive fully electric until it gets to 0, or if you press your pedal all the way down, there's a little extra button. If you then go there, the engine will kick in to give you full power, which is a great safety feature in case you are merging with traffic and you just have to move. So you can drive it fully electric. Hybrid mode will do a very good blend of using the electronics as well as the engine. And then save mode is pretty neat to where it will actually charge it up. So this was on 0% this morning. Just driving it down the road and back for a little bit, I'm up to 9 miles of range. You can also view your battery and see a nice percentage. We're at 17%, and you're able to watch how the electronics are working. You'll see in save mode, the engine turning will actually drive the, alternator motor system to charge the battery. So I have really enjoyed how the electronics work in this. Hybrid integration is great, and the drive modes work really well. You have multiple modes in here to where comfort mode is kind of your default. You have eco. The dynamic mode, especially in save mode, basically never shuts the engine off, so you're always charging. So you can very easily charge this while driving. I did plug it into my house. Overnight, I only got it up to about 50% just because it's a little bit larger of a battery than I was expecting for a plug-in hybrid, and that was about 22 miles of range. My wife and I did a trip down to the city. It was about an 80-mile round trip, and once we hit about 60 miles in our journey, our 50% battery was depleted. Drove it 10 miles in the save mode, and then another 10 miles in hybrid mode, and then depleted the battery again. So moving on to exterior styling, the front end, I love how it all wraps around. Everything about the design is seamless. The way this bumper is, the grille, all the lines, it is just a beautiful vehicle. Everywhere I've driven it, every time I've parked it, I am staring back at this as I walk away. I love the style. There's no bad angle. This one even has the 23-inch wheels. Now we get a lot of questions, people asking, big rims like this, does that make the ride uncomfortable? I do not notice that one bit, especially with a luxury vehicle with air ride suspension. This rides like it's on a cloud. Side profile is gorgeous. We have the blacked out roof to give it that two-tone. Door handles are gonna automatically pop outwards when you approach the vehicle. And then of course you can open the door nicely. You have just clean lines throughout the side and just a very laid back design as we make our way into the back. And then for the rear end of this Range Rover Sport, I love how there's no real rear bumper that's sticking outwards like most SUVs. The fact that it just cuts all the way down into this diffuser. They've even integrated the trailer hitch. I love the massive exhaust tips, just this nice trim, the diffuser, and how this is just so clean. Honestly, gorgeous vehicle. Every single angle is amazing looking. Nothing looks this good. I think this has to be the best looking SUV out there. There's no weird proportions. It is just a perfectly styled luxury vehicle, and the design just totally fits the class that you would expect from this car. So moving on to the interior now with this Range Rover Sport, I love sitting in here. It is just beautifully appointed. Everything you touch is a high quality material. Gorgeous leather on the steering wheel with the two-tone airbag cover has leather. We have a cool soft touch material up above. I love the leather on the center dash. The whole door panel, I love the fabric two-tone. There's the black leather, the beige leather. All the little trim is finished in black chrome. Only drawback is this piano black section right here. Not my favorite. I wish this was something different. Sliding that open, you have a wireless phone charging pad. You're gonna have cup holders underneath here. You can even slide the cup holders back and get them out of the way. As far as only drawbacks for the interior, with our water bottles in here, there's another door that closes right here, and several times with this open, our water bottles would bump this, and this would be half closed against our water bottles. So that's my only complaint right there. Door handles are kind of hard to get to. They are way under here, and it's a little bit of a reach, and you can't really see them given they're in the shadow. So I wouldn't mind maybe an electronic popper or something on the grab handle to open the doors. Still keep the physical door handle in case like the battery dies or something, but that's my only minor complaint. These armrests I thought I didn't like in the beginning. I thought they were useless, but I actually found myself using it quite a lot. When I'm sitting here just cruising, this is actually a little bit too far of a reach to where the armrest makes me just so ultra comfortable. You're dropping 100 grand on a luxury vehicle. Comfort is number one, and this interior I have just loved being in. I really have no complaints. I've been craving driving this every single day. I found multiple excuses just to take this out for a spin because I've liked driving this so much. Now the touchscreen, let's move on to that. I've said in many videos in the past, I am not the biggest fan of everything in the screen with 0 buttons, and as you can tell, there are no buttons for this interior. However, I've liked that because it's in a perfect spot to where I can keep my hand on the shifter, easily swipe a few things. I don't really have to move around much to toggle things. I think when car companies put the screen far away to where you're reaching, that's when it gets really annoying because now your whole arm is extended and you're trying to tap a little button as you're hitting bumps in the road. This one, I have good elbow support to where I can easily toggle everything, and I don't really have to have my arm up extended and try to hit a little button. I can reach it from just sitting here. So I found myself really not at all complaining at all with the screen. Everything that I have been needing to do is readily available, and everything has a large enough tile to where it's not like you're trying to figure out how to hit a little tiny icon. Everything is seamless. Backseat time now for the Range Rover Sport. I'm 5'11", and with the driver's seat at my height, you have good legroom, really good headroom as well. The panoramic roof gives you a lot of sun. Now, speaking of the panoramic roof, I have become less and less interested in sunroofs or moonroofs or whatever up there, mainly because the sun is always just piercing into the cabin and it's kind of annoying on summer days. However, the tint that they use on this, I've noticed with the sun peering through it, it hasn't bothered me at all. So I have left the sunshade open all the time I've driven this, and it just creates a very well-lit interior, which I've liked a lot. In the back seat, we have controls on the door panel to recline the seat as well. This is comfortable and roomy. These seats are just so well padded. This is a great family vehicle. Grown-ups can sit in the back. Kids are gonna be back here with no issues. You got the center armrest, great way to divide if you have 2 kids sitting back here as well. And then of course we have cup holders as well as storage. You're gonna see the climate vents. We have heated seats. There's storage here as well. Same door panel with all the same materials, so the backseat passengers feel like they are in luxury. You got leather on the backs of the seats. The door handle is in the same position as the front. However, back here, you can see it much better. And then cargo space is ample. You have a very large cargo area. We went shopping all day, loaded this up, and it was just no big deal. I like how the privacy cover works. Kind of just slides in here, you angle it a little bit, and it will lock nicely, which has been a very good touch. And then from here, we can raise and lower the suspension. You can actually hold this icon. You can hear that, it will drop a little bit, and then hold the other icon if you were to raise it, and you can see the whole vehicle raising up quite a lot, which is really nice to see. Also from back here, we have these buttons to lower the rear seats. Now it's nice, one touch they will go down. Once again, the only drawback is if your seat is in the way, they will not be able to go all the way down. So for my driver's seat, there's really no way around that aside from walking around, maneuvering my driver's seat to get that down. So I guess just depending on how you're gonna use this for the utility, you just might have to move your seat out of the way a little bit. So setting off in the Range Rover Sport, what is it like to pilot this? So I am in the EV mode right now. As you can tell, we have the battery in the blue and everything is blue, indicating that it is all electric power. Full throttle, engine doesn't kick on, that's over 50 miles an hour. It's not fast in EV mode, however, it is not slow. You can genuinely drive it in fully electric mode quite a lot. It'll still do the regenerative braking, and it's really pleasant, especially if you have short trips or you're just pulling your car out of the driveway or something. I mean, you really can maximize the efficiency if you're plugging it in every single night. It's been hard for me to really determine how many miles I've saved. However, my range is 240 right now as a combination. When I got this, it was at 380, and I have probably put over 250 to 300 miles on this, and I'm not even at a half a tank of gas. Hybrid mode, of course, will kind of do the best of both worlds. And it's a very seamless integration. You can watch that as I accelerate more, the engine's on. I didn't feel a single thing. Aside from me seeing the tachometer turn on, you don't feel the integration. It's very effortless, very smooth, ultra quiet. Speaking of quietness, my favorite thing I think with this Range Rover is the fact that it is so peaceful. We were on the highway driving 50 miles south to do our shopping trip on the weekend, and you're just in comfort. It is so quiet. You don't hear road noise. You don't hear wind noise. You don't hear the traffic around you. Doesn't matter what the road surface is. It is just quiet. Everything, like I said, is so comfortable. It is a really nice place to be. The powertrain is smooth, and it's got plenty of power to get up and move. So it has just been a lovely experience. It's probably the best word to describe this car, and I have just thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, with that said, while this isn't a V8, an SVR, or anything truly performance-focused, it's a sporty-looking luxury SUV, basically. With that, you can still drive it and play with it. So if I go to hybrid, dynamic now, putting it into manual mode, of course the engine will kick on. You can have some fun with this thing. That's 50 without skipping a beat. So honestly, as I've driven this, while I love, big V8 and something like this, nothing has made me want to have extra power. So if I buy one of these one day, which we will probably buy one of these one day, I would probably just stick with the mild hybrid. Now, the plug-in hybrid is a great system. I don't think it's for everyone's taste. Like I said, you will deplete your battery basically every trip you do with it, and on the standard charge, you might only really get 50% charge overnight. So it kind of just depends on how you mix and match it, but the plug-in hybrid has been cool to play with. I'm not sure if it's more of a novelty where it might wear off, but nonetheless, man, you do have that instant EV power. 0 to 40 is like super quick no matter what. But anyways, with this, I like how Range Rover truly does give you plenty of options. It really doesn't matter which one you mix and match. You can just basically get the engine, the powertrain that is going to fit your needs. And this has been a lot of fun. Once the battery kind of depletes, it basically just drives like a normal hybrid. Even if that's at 0 mileage, it will still basically give you the EV power down low. When you're coasting, the EV will be driving you versus your engine. And then of course, any decelerations, it is going to be charging it up. So it's got a blend of everything to where it's just a comfortable place to be. And the use has been fantastic. It's roomy, it's practical. And when I'm driving in this, I am not getting fatigued. I mean, we drove to the city and back, which there's some traffic, not the greatest areas sometimes with the bad roads and stuff, and nothing stressed me out while I was driving in this. The cruise control works fantastic as well. The lane keeping, the distance pacing, steering intervention, all of that just worked seamless. I didn't really have any issues. It was just a smooth drive, great view out. All the tech, like I said, works so well while driving. So from here, quickly go to my radio. It's right there. I don't have to reach, think about it, and kind of find a little icon way in a corner where I'm reaching away. It's all just right here at my fingertips. Make it colder or hotter. It just wasn't hard to use this, and I'm not that familiar with the Land Rover screen. This is very new to me. We've had 2 Defenders to test out, and that's all my experience with the brand. So Land Rover, if you're watching, we want more of these, particularly the Range Rovers. This is our taste. These are things that my wife, who is an Audi fan, the Audi Q8 and SQ8 is the SUV that she's been planning on buying in a couple of years when we need it. After experiencing this for a week, this is on the list too. So we'll probably alternate Audi and Range Rover now because we have liked this so much. But if my Audi loving wife is now a fan of this after just playing with this for a week, I mean, I think that says a lot about what Land Rover is bringing with the Range Rover lineup. This is a fantastic car. And even looking at used ones depreciation, it's not really that bad. I know some of them depreciate pretty bad, but looking at these, as long as you're not racking up 20,000 miles a year on it, you're really not anything different than your typical vehicle. So I'm not really nervous about buying one of these. I think this would be a solid choice. Future family needs, I think this would give us everything we need to just have an amazing driving experience with everything you could possibly think about. It's simple, it's classy. It is a car you want to spend more and more time in. 10-hour trips visiting family up north. I am looking forward to doing that in this vehicle. I would love to. It would just make the trip a breeze. So I have been a fan. Slowly driving now, we're back into EV mode. If I need the power, give a little bit of gas, and you just don't feel the integration. It is so well done, everything with this car. I did not think I would be this big of a fan. And if you want to have extra recreational fun, you have auto modes for off-roading to to where you can literally take this off the pavement and do so much with it. It'd be fun to do a little trip with it, hitting the trails. But even with 23-inch wheels, just kind of slowly going over those little bumps, this thing is so smooth. It does everything in luxury. And then when you need to, you are back moving in a sweet SUV. There is nothing to hate about it. All right, so my ending thoughts, my 1 week review with the 2025 Land Rover Range Rover Sport SE Dynamic plug-in hybrid. The name is long for sure, but I have been thoroughly impressed. I feel like if you want ultra luxury, this is the way to go. While 100 grand isn't cheap, would you expect this to be a cheap car? Obviously not. When you compare this to the main luxury brands, Audi, BMW, and Mercedes, I think this is better as far as the luxury. And again, we're Audi fans. The SQ8 is the SUV that has been on our radar for a future family SUV. And now this is on the radar just as much. So I think that says a lot. This has better luxury than the other three. This is just so smooth, so comfortable, and every single aspect of the interior feels so high end. It feels like this could rival a $200,000 Bentley. I can't imagine how much nicer the big Range Rovers are that are $200,000. But for this, the Sport, this is my kind of SUV. I have loved every minute with it, and I would really recommend it, honestly. I feel like this is a solid vehicle if you want the most comfortable driving experience in a utility SUV. This is the way to go. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and maybe in a few years, we're gonna be seeing one of these come to the channel, because I have loved this, and my wife has loved it so much. This is one way to go.